In this video, we're going to break down Season 1, Episode 9 of the BoonDocks television series entitled Return of the King, and conclude that if Dr. King were alive today in America, would he be happy? Before we get started on this historical breakdown, I just wanted to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm working on some new designs over at the Dish Riz Entertainment store. You see that new logo? Yeah, it's more where that came from. Remember, we still have a few of the 2022 grade fall designs on the store shelves. From tank tops to t-shirts to hoodies, we have it all. Special shout out to everyone that purchased some merch during the December 2022 sale. You helped me create some new designs for the spring and summer of 2023. If you would like to support the channel further and help with the funding of Dish Riz Entertainment, the link will be in the description. Now, let's get into it. After 32 years in comatose, Martin Luther King Jr. awakens to face a changed world, and Huey assists him in making the necessary adjustments. However, Dr. King discovers that his tolerant and peaceful ideology is no longer welcome in post-9/11 America. The BoonDocks Season 1, Episode 9 is titled Return of the King and airs on Adult Swim. On January 15, 2006, it was first broadcast to the public. I want young men and women who are not living now to realize and understand that these new advantages and chances did not come without someone suffering and sacrificing for them, is the first of two lines that opened the episode. The second was, ignorantly, whatever, anonymous. Huey Freeman provides a counterfactual account of the attempted assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. April 4, 1968. Shot in the chest, King is in critical condition, but instead of passing away, he goes into a comatose state and stays there for 32 years, emerging from it substantially older on October 27, 2000, in a hospital bed. He tries to cast a ballot in the 2000 U.S. presidential election, but is turned away owing to voting irregularity. Then, as he and his supporters were strolling along a downtown street that just so happened to bear his name, gunfire rang out, sending the throng scattering. So he finds out the hard way that streets named after him weren't the most safest. Popularity returns to King, who signs a book contract and agrees to have Cuba Gooding Jr. play him in a biopic. It was directed by Oliver Stone, who pissed off Spike Lee for the same reason that Norman Jewison's replacement as the director of Malcolm X, Michael Mann, pissed off Lee when Mann was chosen to direct Ali. The film's released the week following 9/11 guarantees its failure. Soon later, King makes an appearance on Politically Incorrect, where he declares that turn the other cheek applies to foes like Al-Qaeda because of his Christian religion. The press secretary for the White House, along with CNN and Time magazine, have all harshly criticized his views, leading to a precipitous decline in his popularity. King runs into Robert Freeman and Huey at his empty book signing. Freeman is an old friend from the civil rights period. Freeman then reveals that he and Rosa Parks were also overlooked during the Montgomery bus boycott. In retribution, Robert makes a fake call to Rosa Parks. The Freemans find out that Dr. King is staying at a Holiday Inn Express and invite him over for supper and a bed for the night.
You boycotting baboon! Dance there, you goddamn chunky cheek monkey!
Ruckus, what the hell is wrong with you?
Don't interfere, Robert. This here's between me and Martin Luther, so-called king. Only king I know of Elvis Presley, God rest his soul. Oh, you don't remember me? Well, I've been throwing bricks at your marching ass since 1959.
And so, brothers and sisters, you know
Hey, shut the hell up, you black son bitch. What's wrong with y'all? Thank God for the white man's infinite mercy, Martin Luther King. Cause if it was up to me, I'd unleash the hound and turn y'all niggas into puppet child. I was happy at the back of the bus. Oh, my eyeball! Just wait till I get me another brick, or maybe a large rock, or one of them teeny tiny little cement blocks. Why'd you have to go mess with the natural order of things? I'd have shot you myself. But I realized the white man got better aim.
Stop acting crazy. We're going back to my house for dinner.
Turn the other cheek and take me with you. I'm home.
Unfortunately, Riley gets a paddling from Granddad after he insults Dr. King in front of everyone at dinner. After getting his ass kicked by Granddad, Riley had even less respect for Dr. King.
You know that's Martin Luther King. Now go clear the dishes.
Why can't this Morgan Freeman King dude clear the dishes? Shoot, the nigga just had a free meal.
Riley, come here. Get over here.
No.
How can
No.
you embarrass me in front of Martin Luther King? What is wrong with you?
I hate Morgan Freeman King. I wish he never came here.
A little later that night, while watching TV, Huey and King voice their displeasure with the current status of black entertainment. Huey then convinces King to re-establish contact with the masses the next day.
Oh, God! Sorry, Mr. White Man.
The two have lunch at McWunsler's, a spoof of McDonald's where King reluctantly confesses to having a like for the McRib. Huey manages to persuade King that they should form a political party together, despite King's insistence that Huey should get Oprah Winfrey to do it instead. Jim Meskimen's fast-talking, brusque, bow-tie-wearing right-wing presenter often interrupts King as he tries to explain the ideas of his new party on television. After Huey throws a chair at the presenter and beats him on camera, the show cuts to a commercial. King and Huey eventually decide to use flyers and door-to-door canvassing to get their word out. When King employs an urban marketing agency to publicize the party planning meeting, the firm advertises it on an FM radio pop music station as a party, further detracting from the event's intended purpose. Consequently, scores of young black individuals show up to the church and start acting as if it were a club. As narrated by DJ Pooh, a bouncer refuses to let Huey and King in until they pay him a bribe. Upon entering, they are taken aback by the wild antics of the partygoers and the sudden appearance of a slew of rappers, televangelists, and other shallow black pop culture figures at the platform. After making it to the stage, King makes an attempt to calm the throng by appealing to their shared humanity. Unfortunately, this attempt by him fails. His ordinarily calm demeanor suddenly became angry as he demanded,
Will you ignorant niggas please shut the hell up?
Shock runs across the audience. Following this, King poses the following question.
Is this it? This is what I got all those ass whoopings for?
Has this been it? So this is why I've been getting so much flack. Then, evidently frustrated that today's black youth have adopted harmful prejudices about their race, he constantly refers to the crowd as niggas. His rant includes criticism of black entertainment television, Usher, Michael Jackson, and Soul Plane, among other figures and institutions in black popular culture. As he wraps up his address, King says, I know what's on the horizon and what's just around the bend, and you niggas have nothing to be happy about. Not going with you either, sorry to say. The next stop on my trip is Canada. King expresses his gratitude to Huey and encourages him to do what he can. However, the widespread dissemination of his words in the media sparks a rebellion reminiscent of the civil unrest of the 1960s among the black population. At the end of the episode, angry young black men and women gather outside the White House gates to yell and curse at an anonymous presidential government. Several outlets have reported that Robert L. Johnson has publicly apologized for launching Black Entertainment Network, that all black NBA players are sitting out the season until troops are withdrawn, and that the dropout rate among African American youngsters has unexpectedly decreased. The video ends with the front page of a newspaper from the year 2020, which reports that King passed away at the age of 91 in Vancouver, British Columbia, and that Oprah was elected president. At the end of the episode, Huey says, it's fun to dream, to explain that everything that happened was Huey's idea of what would have happened if Martin Luther King Jr. hadn't been killed in 1968. Before we conclude, I wanted to shout out our sponsor of this video, This Riz Entertainment. This Riz Entertainment LLC is an upcoming cinematic editing company that specializes in capturing high quality, realistic, and abstract images through a camera lens. Public service announcements, music videos, documentaries, web episodes, short films, commercials, and feature films, just to name a few. You can find them here on YouTube with multiple channels. This Riz TV Media Gaming channel, This Riz Entertainment Cinematic channel, and in the works, the This Riz Cinematic Reviews channel. After this video, please take a look at these channels. You might see something you like. Hit the like and subscribe buttons if you're feeling fancy. Now back to the review. This episode was funny and I will watch it again because I am a BoonDocks fan. But I rate this episode a 7 out of 10 because we, as a black culture, are just sickening and sad the way we are in today's age. I'm not here to discuss religious beliefs and such, but I am a huge fan of Malcolm X over Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I appreciate everything that Dr. King stood for, but I do not believe in nonviolence. However, if you are protecting your own, you have the right in America to stand your ground. Now I have an issue with ones that go overboard with this saying, so don't get it twisted. One key point that I would like to make is that every street that bears Dr. Martin Luther King's name is known for being violent, the exact opposite of what he stood for, which is a damn shame. I bet Dr. King is tossing and turning over in his grave at how we, as a black culture, have turned around and done a complete 180-degree turn, in damning our forefathers on the teachings and guidance we were taught as a race. My thoughts on if Dr. King was alive today. Dr. King sought equality and human rights for African Americans, the economically disadvantaged, and all victims of injustice through peaceful protests. He envisioned that America would truly be a land where all men and women are created equal. By doing this, he secured progress on civil rights in the United States of America. Today, there are many more achievements of which he could be proud of, as in the election of a black man as president, the expansion of voting rights, the rising number of black college graduates, especially women, the growth of the black middle class, the narrowing of the achievement gap between black and white students, the increased integration of the suburbs, and so forth. However, there would be areas of dissatisfaction, segregation in housing, schools, and the criminal justice system has persisted and even worsened due to racial and socioeconomic differences. Blacks and Hispanics make up 60% of prisoners in the most incarcerated nation in the world, and police tactics continue to be focused more on minority areas, especially black neighborhoods. In addition, discrimination based on race persists in the workplace today. It's safe to say that Return of the King was the most divisive episode of the first season of the BoonDocks. Al Sharpton said the episode was inaccurate for having MLK Jr. use the word He said Cartoon Network must apologize and also commit to eliminating shows that degrade historical black people. In reference to Aaron McGruder and the network, the show's continuous usage of the N-word has deeply angered us. In the BoonDocks, McGruder's own response to Sharpton's criticism, he had the characters mock the activists for choosing to target a cartoon rather than addressing more pressing concerns. So I totally agree with McGruder on this one. We, as Americans, have more pressing issues than just the usage of the word nigga. Unfortunately, this word and multiple forms of it are still located in the dictionary. Drop a like or comment below to fact check me on that. I'll wait. So fuck no, he wouldn't be proud, just like Huey made known in this episode. He would be pissed. Please comment below with your thoughts on if Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was alive today, how would he view the black culture in America? Also, would the storyline be the same or completely different if there was a BoonDocks episode of Malcolm X? That'd be much appreciated. Also, I would like to thank all of the new subscribers. Over the last month and a half, we currently have over 2,990 subscribers. Thank you all. Feel free to comment in the box and tell us what part of the world you are from. Thank y'all for liking the content. This motivates us to make more videos like this one here.
You got a problem with that, nigga?
Please be sure to smash that like button, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure your post notifications are turned on. If you made it to this part of the video, let me know what your favorite part of the video was. Also, what are you all looking forward to in future episodes? I'll be sure to answer that in the next video. I'd like to hear your thoughts on if I missed the mark on this video and other points I should have brought out in this review here. Share this video. I was told that it helps out the algorithm. We are trying to get our views up. We are asking for 200 likes to help take this channel to the next level. New review videos every Saturday and Sunday for more episodes. Enable alerts for this channel so you don't miss anything. If you enjoyed this video, click here for all of my affiliate channels and click here for what BoonDocks video might interest you next. Thanks for watching, take care, and we will see you in the next one.